Thank you again for joining me for this session. So my name is Rachel Joy Olson. For those of you who, most of you know me, some of you don't know me, but my name is Rachel. I am a health coach and yoga instructor and the founder and creator of AromaYin. So very excited to share AromaYin with you tonight. Now I had a lot of questions going, well, how are you supposed to do an aromatherapy class online? And that is true. I wish I could share the oils in person with you. But I do a weekly Aroma Yin class on Monday nights and Tuesday mornings. And how I run it is that the people that join the class have their own oil. So if you want to start building up your collection, certainly let me know and I can send you some links to help set up your collection. You are going to get a downloadable at home practice. So you're going to get this practice tonight in a downloadable PDF as well as the video after the class. And of course, in these videos and in the PDF, I have all the oils that we use tonight, all of their benefits, and why they're such a great oil to draw into your own personal collection. So if you have any oils at home, even if you don't have the oils that I'm using tonight, just grab a couple of your favorites. If you've got a grounding oil, grab that. If you've got an energizing oil, grab that. If you have no oils, don't worry about it. We're going to elicit the scents and the feelings that the oils will draw in anyway. Okay? So without further ado, let's get started. So coming onto your mats, if you don't have a mat, that's fine. You'll notice that I've got a blanket down on top of my mat. I always like to get really comfortable in yin yoga. Feel free to grab blankets, pillows, anything you would like that's going to help keep you a little bit more supported. So let's get started. All right. So we are going to start with our first oil today. We're going to use 7 different oils in our practice today. And our very first oil we're going to use for our breath work and our breath technique to get us set and started. So the first one I'm going to use is called Easy Air. Now, this is an oil very similar to like a eucalyptus. This is also considered kind of like vapor rub in a bottle. So it's fantastic. So if you do have a nice opening oil like a eucalyptus or something, great. And if you can, maybe just rub it for a moment on your chest. Now, if you are using Easy Air or eucalyptus or any airway opener oils, you'll know that they're very strong. This could even be a peppermint, which we're going to use later as well. So just make sure you don't get them close to your eyes. Now, if you're using oils, great, you've got it on. If you're not, that's fine too. And I want you to place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your belly. And close your eyes. So as you begin to sit, I want you to start to feel your sit bones connecting into the mat, into the earth. As each vertebrae stacks one on top of each other, with that nice tall spine rising the crown of the head to the sky. I want you to find a nice, soft breath here. Now we're going to do something, a pranayama or a breath technique called the 3-part breath, also called Durga breath. And here's how it works. Now when you take your next inhale, I want you to start to feel your belly rise. Then take your attention into the ribs, feel the ribs expand. Then the attention into the chest, feel the chest expand. And then as you exhale, the chest drops, the rib cage comes in, and the belly falls. Let's do that together. Let's start by taking one nice big inhale and an exhale. Now on your next inhale, let the belly rise. Inhale, ribs, chest, hold. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly, hold. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, hold. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly, hold. Now that you've got that breath, continue to do a few more on your own. And as you breathe, repeat this intention. I breathe deeply. I arrive fully. I breathe deeply. I arrive fully. And as you breathe, letting the shoulders relax away from the ears. Your mind and body become calm with each breath. Now in a Yin Yoga practice, the goal is to, if you can, keep your eyes closed as you can. Feel free to check in and open the eyes if you want to see the posture, if you're not sure. Through the practice, we want to embrace stillness and connecting to the breath, using the breath as a bridge between the mind and the body to help us stay present, still, and relaxed. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And on that next breath, feel free to open your eyes for a moment, release the hands, and we'll slowly transition into our next posture. So we are going to transition into our child's pose. Now we're also going to, in child's pose, use lavender oil. So grab that oil with you as you start to set into child's pose. Now in child's pose, we're going to set up so our toes are together, our knees are nice and wide, and our hips begin to sit as close to the heels as we can. Be really careful with the knees though, and certainly stay up a little higher if those knees need a little bit more support. From here, we'll drop down onto our elbows, and if you do have your lavender oil with you, we're going to place the lavender oil on the wrists and the temples. Now, of course, again, if you don't have lavender, that's fine. You're just going to choose any other calming, relaxing oil. Lavender is known to soothe overwhelm and promote a sense of peace. That's why it's a favorite in yoga. Now, once we settle into our child's pose, we're going to start relaxing our chest and our forehead towards the ground. The arms might extend away from your head, or sometimes it's nice to stack the hands underneath the forehead and just allow the whole body to surrender here. Now, a child's pose is a beautiful posture. It is a posture of surrender. This posture invites us to breathe deeply into our hips, to feel a sense of relaxation and peace as we let everything surrender to the earth beneath us. As you settle in and you feel the body begin to rest, repeat this intention. I am safe. I soften into rest. I am safe. I soften into rest. Now in yoga, for those of you who are newer to this practice, we're going to hold our postures today for about 3 minutes. And the Yin Yoga practice invites us to hold our postures a little longer so that we can really dig into opening through the connective tissue, like the fascia, that tight tissue that needs a little bit more support to loosen up. And as we do this, it helps the range of motion around the joints, and also to help our body release tension and stress. Now you'll notice that your body with each breath begins to soften a little bit more. And if it doesn't, if the mind is wandering, just see if you can corral the thoughts back in by just deepening the breath. And perhaps going back to just repeating, I am safe. I am supported. next inhale. And slowly begin to rise, coming out of there. I'm going to dig into those hips just a little bit more today. So when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and have a seat. You're going to gently extend the legs straight out. Let's give the legs a nice opportunity to rest and breathe. You can take the hands behind the back if you wish, maybe shine the chest up to the sky. Just letting some blood flow come back to the knees. Now when you're ready, we're going to come onto our backs. Those of you again using oils, you're going to grab your balance oil or another calming blend. Feel free to use this oil. Again, you can put this one on your hands. Now at home, the suggestion with this one is, if you're in shorts or PJs, is to rub this one on the inner thighs, because we are actually going to open up through the inner thighs, and you can massage this oil right into the body to help release it. So if you have that opportunity to do so, go ahead and do so. Now from here, we're going to lay down onto our backs, come into reclined butterfly, drawing the bottom of the feet together, the knees nice and wide, tucking the shoulder blades maybe under the back. A couple of options here for those of you, you might want to use blocks or pillows or bolsters maybe underneath the knees if this is too much of an opening. You can also turn this one into a back bend, maybe placing a bolster or a block underneath the spine or the rib cage. But most importantly, just find a sense of peace, rest, and relaxation in this pose. Now, the balance blend that we just used promotes a sense of calm and peace. So invoke those feelings as you rest into the posture, even if you don't have the oil. And as you settle into this pose, repeat this intention. As my heart opens, I receive feelings of ease. As my heart opens, I receive feelings of ease. As we rest into the pose, just notice if you feel any sensations anywhere, any tension, and just send your breath into that area. And of course, if you need any supports under the knees or you need to come out, go ahead and come out. Otherwise, see if you can just remain in this place of stillness. Releasing the desire or the need to move. Our goal again is to stay with our attention on our mats, on our bodies, on our breath. At any time, you can go back to that 3-part breath that we did at the beginning of the practice. Focusing in on the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Allowing 2 more breaths here. So go ahead and just draw the knees together, drawing those knees in towards the chest, allowing a nice gentle rock from side to side. This is where we want to lengthen into our spine. We want to take a moment of pause between our postures. Just really tap into finding some care and ease. Really tuning into the physical body right now, offering a moment of compassion. And since we're practicing for the animals today, perhaps maybe we can send some energy and attention to some of these animals in need. Maybe sending a wish of adoption, a wish that they all find their forever homes. And as we practice, know that the energy that we are evoking here on our mats today can be sent to them. Now, in your next breath, go ahead and just release the legs and just roll off to one side. I'm going to take a moment to pause in fetal position. So resting your head on your arm, rounding into the spine, just offering a moment to rest here. And this will allow us to transition then into a seated position. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to set up for what's called deer pose. So you're going to sit on your left hip. This one takes a moment to set up. So you're going to sit on your left hip and your left thigh is going to be right underneath you. The shin will be parallel. If you're facing your short edge of your mat, it'll be parallel to that. And then your other leg will go right off to the side. Okay, so one knee's pointing forward, the other knee's pointing to the side, and that shin and foot, of course, is behind you. Now, in this posture, for those of you, again, who are using oils, we are going to grab peppermint oil for this one. A couple of different ways you can use this one. Peppermint being very strong, you could smell it. Helps to improve mood, mental clarity. It's also very cooling for those of us who are getting hot flashes these days. You can also choose to put this on, again, if you have that opportunity to put it onto the skin. You might even place it right on top in front of that quad. And of course, onto that hip flexor. Now, of course, I have my pants on, so it's not quite as nice if it's not on the skin, but if you have that opportunity, go ahead and do that. Again, if nothing else, just smelling the oil works perfectly. So now we want that chest to be square over top of the thigh. Take a nice big inhale and rise. And as you exhale, slowly begin to surrender. So as you surrender forward, we are focusing on lengthening into that left hip, opening into the glutes. Focusing on a nice gentle rotation in the spine. And then offering a moment of surrender as we come forward. So you can choose to stack the hands on top of one another. You can stay up a little higher on the elbows. You can even stay up a little higher on the hands. So in this moment, as we breathe on this side, all I want you to do is focus on that breath, drawing in positive mood and mental clarity. Focusing on the wonderful benefits of our peppermint oil. Sending your breath all the way up and down the spine. Drawing the breath down deep into the hips. Our Yin Yoga practice shifts energy around the body, and we do that by just really using our breath. On your next inhale, from wherever you are, we'll slowly begin to rise. Allow the hands to come behind you and just draw the feet back to the center of your mat, back to the front, whichever way you're facing, and just allow a nice gentle rock from side to side. Releasing any of the tension in the hips from that pose. Taking a moment to pause. And when you're ready, we're going to set up on the other side. So just like we did on that left side, we're now going to sit on the right hip. So take that moment and time to set up your posture. That's part of the practice, actually. Okay, so your right thigh is underneath you, right in front. Your left thigh is off to the side. We got kind of this 90-90 position in the hips, knees, and the ankles. And when you're ready, we take a hand on either side. We get into that rotation. We sit up nice and tall. And then maybe we come forward. Maybe we stay high up. Whatever feels best for you. Now, on this side, you can also, smell a little bit more peppermint. If you feel like you want to put a little bit more on, go ahead and do so. And on this side, as we settle into the pose, focus on this intention. I move forward with clarity and grace. I move forward with clarity and grace. As you find a little more depth into your pose, again, allow that breath to support the opening into the hip. And since today's practice is about releasing stress, a lot of the stress that we hold sits in our hips. That's why we're focusing a lot on hips today. As you breathe and repeat your intentions, just encourage your body to release and let go of anything it no longer needs. And on your next breath, slowly beginning to rise, coming back up and drawing the legs back into the center. Hands behind you, allowing that nice gentle rock from side to side once again. Just be careful to go just nice and slow here. Our goal here is to release some tension into that nervous system, finding a nice relaxed space. So let's keep it relaxed even as we transition. All right, now for our next pose. Again, if you're using oils, you're going to grab your deep blue, allowing the legs to extend forward. Now with the deep blue oil, this one releases muscle tension. So I'm going to encourage you, if you've got, some of you might have the deep blue stick. And if you have that, it's wonderful. I may place it on the neck, somewhere that's got any tension. Again, if you're wearing shorts or something, and you can rub it on the knees or any of the joints that feel really maybe a little sore. This is a beautiful oil for that. Those of us who know kind of a tiger balm, it doesn't smell like that. It smells more minty, but it works the same. So now as we set up in this posture, we're going to keep that left leg extended. We're going to take the right leg across the body. So notice how I grabbed onto the ankle. You're going to grab onto the knee and the ankle and see if you can draw that knee on top of the other. So the right leg comes as far across as you can. Now you might not get it that far. It might be somewhere around here. That's okay. You're going to sit up really nice and tall here. The hands might stay on the leg. They might draw off to the side. But wherever you are, sit up tall. And as you exhale, release into your fold. Now, as you start to settle into this posture, There's one more option if you prefer. You can also tuck that bottom leg underneath, stacking the knees on top of each other. Just be aware that if you do choose this option, that both sit bones are resting square on the mat. We're not curved off to the side, and the knees and joints feel okay. So as you settle in and breathe into the outer hips, the rotators, the IT band, releasing any emotional stuckness that you might be feeling in the hips right now. Settling into the stillness of the pose with a soft breath. So let's allow 2 more breaths here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and extend both legs straight out. So just like we did on that other side, maybe just release the legs straight, just giving those knees a little bit of a break, or in the last pose, I should say. Maybe rubbing into the knees. You might take an opportunity to sit tall. And let's go to the other side. So we're going to keep that right leg straight now. We're going to grab onto that left knee and ankle and draw that leg across the body. Now remembering your options here, we might keep that bottom leg nice and straight as we sit tall, leaning into half shoelace, extending in through the hamstring on the right and the hip on the left. If it felt okay on the other side and we don't have any knee issues, you might tuck that leg underneath. Allow ourselves to sit up nice and tall. And if it feels okay, leaning into the pose. And as you settle into this posture on this side, perhaps repeat this intention. I release what keeps me stuck. I step into freedom. I release what keeps me stuck. I step into freedom. On your next inhale, slowly begin to rise. The hands might come behind you, extending the legs. Again, giving that opportunity for those knees to take a break. And again, if you do have the opportunity to rub this deep blue right into those knees, especially if they're a bit sore after that posture, this is the perfect time to do that. Good. Now when you're ready here, we're going to make our way back onto our backs. Now, again, for those of you using oils, you're going to grab onto your Aroma Touch if you have that one. Beautiful blend that helps with calming and relaxation. Feel free to take an opportunity to just smell the oil before you lie down. Maybe put some in your hands before you lie down. With this one, you can just draw the breath in before we set up into our next pose. Maybe allowing a little bit of this on the forehead, on the temples. And when you're ready, those arms are going to relax by your side. If you have the room, take those arms out nice and wide. We're going to shift our hips just slightly over to the left a little bit and drop both knees to the right. Now we're coming into a rotation here. Our priority on this rotation is keeping that left shoulder on the ground. So don't worry about the knees. They're going to only come down as far as they can. You could place bolsters, blocks, pillows underneath those knees if they need a little bit of support. Now we allow the breath to draw the belly up and down, taking that breath nice and deep. The head might stay neutral or even roll off to the left, away from the knees, coming into a nice full rotation. Now, rotations are beautifully detoxing. They help release tension from the spine, support digestion. And of course, using the Aroma Touch oil, you can also rub that on your belly. But because it really elicits calm and relaxation, each breath, I want you to draw a sense of calm, peace, and relaxation into the pose. And as you take each exhale, really focus on that tension and relaxation. Allow you to melt into the mat. On your next inhale, draw the knees back through the center, adjust the hips back to the center. If it feels good, feel free to give yourself that nice hug, lengthening into the spine. Take a moment to maybe rock from side to side to realign the spine. And then when you're ready, you're going to take those feet down to the ground. Take a nice shift to the hips up and over to the right, and drop the knees to the left this time. And this time as we rest into this posture on this side, again, making sure everything feels good, that right shoulder's planted into the ground, back feels okay in the rotation. And in your mind, repeat this intention. I release resistance. I trust the flow. I release resistance, and I trust the flow. slowly begin to draw those knees back in through the center. Adjust the hips, giving yourself that big hug once again. And a nice gentle rock from side to side. Now this is where we get to come into our pure relaxation, coming into our Shavasana. So our final oil that we're going to use in our practice today is Serenity. And for those of you who know Serenity, know that it's a beautiful supporter of sleep. There's lavender and vanilla and a couple of other beautiful oils in there that really help support relaxation and sleep. So if you have this one, you're gonna hopefully feel nice and relaxed before bed. So feel free to rub it around the temples, the wrists, the forehead, the neck, the chest, through the hair, anywhere. Allow this oil just to go everywhere. And then when you're ready, let's settle into our final resting posture. We'll extend the legs down to the floor. Take those feet about hip distance apart. If it feels more comfortable, feel free to keep those knees bent. Dropping the knees together, the hands can rest on the belly or by your side with your palms open. Now, Shavasana is our final resting posture. It's a restorative posture, allowing us to fully let go, releasing the practice into the past. See if we can detach ourselves from any thoughts, any tensions, any worries. And while you rest in this posture, I encourage you to keep your energy flowing freely with each breath. And send a moment of energy and breath and love and compassion to all the animals who we are practicing for tonight. On an energetic, on a soul level, let them all know that they're supported, they're loved. And sending out an intention and a wish that each and every one of them find their forever homes. Rest here for a few moments in stillness and silence and with this energy. And I'll bring you back shortly. Allow your next inhale to be a little bit deeper. And of course, you're at home. If you have the opportunity to stay here a little bit longer, I invite you to do so. But if you are ready, draw that next breath in a little deeper. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, inviting in a little gentle movement into the body, coming back into the physical space, drawing your mind and body back into the present moment. Maybe take a nice big reach overhead, a nice big morning stretch, perhaps even a yawn. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. When you're ready, taking just a nice hug and a gentle rock from side to side. You might choose now to just roll off to the right-hand side into fetal position, taking a moment to pause and round into the spine. When you're ready, draw yourself back up into a seated position. I invite you to keep the eyes closed for just a moment. Now, you might have a lot of oils on your hands already. Feel free to draw on this scent or just use a final oil, one that really resonates with your sense of peace. Now take a moment to take the hands at heart center, Namaskar Mudra, and just bow into the heart space in gratitude. Again, sending out one last wish of compassion, love, and joy for all those beautiful souls at every shelter. Even we're supporting ARCs tonight, but every shelter around the city, around the world. As we finish today, send them all such love and blessings. Sending yourself a moment of gratitude, of love as well. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this evening. Wishing you all namaste.